We move through life assuming reality is just as it appears, solid, reliable, and obvious. Yet thinkers like Plato and Mulat Tazebew challenge us to question these certainties, offering radically different maps of reality. This essay explores Plato's allegory of the cave, a journey from shadows to truth, and Mulat's vision of existence as a dream within a universal consciousness. By comparing these two, we'll see how each philosophy redefines reality, wisdom, and freedom, inviting us to look at our lives with new eyes. Plato, the renowned Greek philosopher, presents us with a compelling thought experiment, a vivid allegory designed to illuminate the nature of reality and the human condition. He asks us to imagine prisoners chained in a cave, a subterranean dwelling far removed from the light of day and the world as we know it. These unfortunate souls are confined, generation after generation, facing a wall, their gaze perpetually fixed upon its unyielding surface. They have known no other existence, no other vista than this stark, unadorned barrier. Behind them, unseen, a fire blazes, casting flickering shadows of objects carried by unseen figures. The prisoners, unable to turn their heads, are only able to see these shadows cast by objects behind them. These fleeting, distorted images are their only source of information, their sole experience of the world. For these prisoners, the shadows are reality, the complete and utter extent of their perceived universe. They have no concept of anything beyond the wall, no inkling of the true forms that give rise to the shadows. Imprisoned in this sensory deprivation, they know nothing else. Their understanding of existence is limited to the ephemeral dance of shadows on the wall. Their entire world is built on illusions, a fragile construct of appearances and misinterpretations. They assign names and meanings to the shadows, creating a system of knowledge based on incomplete and distorted information. They are content in their ignorance, never suspecting there's anything more to existence than the flickering images before them. They are unaware of the true nature of reality, the world of forms that lies beyond the cave. Now, imagine that one prisoner is freed, released from his bonds, and compelled to turn around. He is forced to turn and see the fire, the source of the shadows he has known his entire life. He now sees the crude objects that were responsible for casting the shadows and the objects casting the shadows. The light is painful, initially blinding him after a lifetime in darkness. The real objects confusing, unfamiliar, and far less clear than the shadows he had grown accustomed to. But slowly, he adjusts, his eyes gradually acclimating to the unfamiliar brightness. Dragged out of the cave, he is thrust into the world above. He's immediately blinded by sunlight, the sheer intensity of which is almost unbearable. But gradually his vision clears, and he perceives the true world, a realm of vibrant colors, intricate forms, and boundless beauty. He begins by observing reflections, indirect images of the world around him. Then he progresses to seeing real things, the tangible objects that populate this new reality. And finally he is able to gaze upon the sun itself, the ultimate source of light and life. He understands that the sun is the source of all truth, the ultimate reality that illuminates everything else. Plato's allegory is about the painful, arduous, and often resisted process of intellectual and spiritual awakening. It represents the transformative journey from a state of ignorance and illusion to one of knowledge and enlightenment. It's a journey from ignorance to enlightenment, from the shadows of the cave to the radiant light of the sun. It's a call to question appearances, to challenge the assumptions and beliefs that shape our understanding of the world. It's an invitation to look beyond the surface and seek the deeper reality behind them, to strive for a more profound and meaningful understanding of ourselves and the universe we inhabit. Mulat Tazebew offers a profoundly different vision, a perspective that challenges our conventional understanding of existence. He invites us to reconsider the very nature of reality, urging us to look beyond the tangible and delve into the depths of consciousness. Reality, according to Tazebew, is not an external construct, a world separate from ourselves, but rather a dream, an intricate tapestry woven within the fabric of a single, universal consciousness. It's a concept that blurs the lines between the observer and the observed, suggesting that our perceived reality is a reflection of this grand, cosmic dream. We are not separate beings, isolated entities navigating an indifferent universe. Instead, we are all expressions of the one mind, individual facets of a singular, unified consciousness. Think of it as a vast, interconnected network where each node represents a unique perspective, yet all are intrinsically linked to the same source. We are like characters in a dream, each with our own distinct roles and narratives, yet all unknowingly sharing the same dreamer. We go about our lives believing ourselves independent, autonomous agents, unaware of the deeper connection that binds us all. Our sense of individuality, the feeling of being a separate self, is the core illusion, the veil that obscures our true nature. It's the belief that we are merely characters in the play, rather than the playwright themselves. In truth, we are the dreamer, the source of the dream. Not just the dreamed, the characters within it. We possess the power to shape and influence the reality we perceive once we awaken to our true identity. Just as every character in a night dream, no matter how bizarre or unfamiliar, is ultimately a projection of your own mind, a reflection of your subconscious thoughts and emotions, so too is everyone and everything in this world, every person we encounter, every object we perceive, every experience we have. All are an aspect of the one self, different expressions of the same underlying reality. The world is not outside us, a separate entity to be conquered or controlled. It is within the universal mind, a reflection of our collective consciousness, a manifestation of the thoughts, beliefs, and emotions we hold within. Awakening is not escaping to another world, transcending this reality to reach some distant ethereal plane, but realizing you are the dreamer of this one, recognizing your role in creating and shaping the world around you. Liberation comes from shifting identity, from shedding the illusion of separation and embracing our true nature as the universal consciousness. It's a transition from character to author, from being a passive participant in the dream to becoming the active creator of it, from part to whole, from fragmented individual to unified consciousness, realizing our interconnectedness and our inherent power to shape reality. Plato, the renowned Greek philosopher, presents us with a compelling vision of reality. He doesn't see the world as a simple, straightforward place. Instead, Plato sees reality as a hierarchy, a layered system where some things are more real, more true than others. It's a concept that has shaped Western thought for centuries, influencing everything from art to politics. At the bottom we find shadows, illusions, mere reflections of reality. These are the fleeting images we perceive with our senses, the deceptive appearances that can trick us into believing something that isn't quite true. They are like the shadows dancing on the wall of a cave, a pale imitation of the world outside. Above the shadows are physical objects, imperfect copies, the tangible things we interact with every day. These objects are more real than the shadows, but they are still just copies of something greater. A chair, a table, a house, all are imperfect representations of the ideal forms they embody. They are subject to decay, change, and ultimately, disappearance. And at the very top of Plato's hierarchy are the eternal forms, true reality. These are the perfect, unchanging ideals that exist beyond the physical world. They are the essence of everything, the blueprint upon which all things are based. The form of beauty, the form of justice, the form of goodness. These are the ultimate realities, the source of all truth and knowledge. The highest reality, the most fundamental form, is the form of the good, the ultimate source of all being and knowledge. It illuminates everything else, giving meaning and purpose to the entire hierarchy. This form of the good is unchanging, perfect, and the source of all else. It is the bedrock of reality, the foundation upon which everything else is built. It is eternal and immutable, untouched by the fleeting changes of the physical world. But Mulat, taking a different path, rejects this hierarchy. He challenges the very notion that some things are more real than others. For him, everything, objects, thoughts, concepts, the entire spectrum of existence is not arranged in a hierarchy of importance or reality. Instead, everything is made of one substance, consciousness. This is a radical departure from Plato's thinking, a shift from a world of forms to a world of pure awareness. Mulat posits that consciousness is the fundamental building block of reality, the very fabric of existence. The world isn't a flawed copy, a pale imitation of some higher reality. It's not a shadow or an imperfect reflection. Instead, it's a direct projection of the mind. The world we perceive is not separate from us, but rather an extension of our own consciousness. It's a manifestation of our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Plato urges us to transcend the physical, to escape the limitations of our senses and our material existence. He calls us to climb the ladder of reality, to ascend to the realm of the forms. He wants us to seek the forms, to strive for knowledge of the ultimate truths that lie beyond the world of appearances. In contrast, Mulat urges us to see the world as a dream, a waking dream that we are all co-creating. He doesn't want us to escape it, but to understand its true nature. He invites us to explore the depths of our own consciousness, to unravel the mysteries of our own minds. For Plato, the senses deceive. They are unreliable guides that lead us astray from the path of truth. But for Mulat, the error is believing in separation. It's the illusion that we are separate from each other, separate from the world around us, separate from the source of all being. Both offer a path to seeing through illusion, to piercing the veil of appearances and glimpsing the true nature of reality. But their maps are fundamentally different. One leads to a world of perfect forms, the other to a world of unified consciousness. Both offer profound insights, but ultimately it is up to each individual to choose which path to follow. Plato's path to wisdom is a difficult ascent, an intellectual and moral climb from darkness to light guided by reason and education. Enlightenment is gradual, requiring effort, guidance, and the courage to leave behind familiar illusions. Mulat's path is not a climb but a sudden shift, a realization that you are the dreamer, not the character. It's not about learning more but unlearning the belief in separation. Awakening is instantaneous, a direct insight into your true nature as the universal self. The journey is inward, not upward, a process of subtraction, not addition. For Plato, freedom is breaking the chains of illusion and seeing reality as it truly is, a liberation that brings responsibility to help others. The enlightened must return to the cave, guiding others toward truth, even at personal risk. For Mulat, freedom is realizing you are not the prisoner but the dreamer of the entire scenario. True liberation is internal. Freedom from suffering comes from knowing your true identity as the self. There's no world to escape, only a dream to awaken within. The greatest service is awakening to your true nature, dissolving the illusion of separation. Plato sees others as real, separate individuals, fellow prisoners deserving compassion and guidance. Our actions toward them have real consequences. Society is a shared project. Mulat sees others as projections of the same self. There are no true others, only different expressions of the one consciousness. Compassion arises naturally, as harming another is harming oneself. The social and political problems dissolve. Awakening is a solitary internal process. Relationships are transformed, love and conflict are the self relating to itself. All human drama is the play of the one dreamer. Despite their differences, both philosophies begin with dissatisfaction with ordinary reality, urging us to question appearances. Both see the path to truth as isolating. The enlightened are often misunderstood and alone. For Plato, the form of the good is remote and impersonal. For Mulat, the self is all, but alone in its unity. Both offer consolation. Our longing for meaning is the first step toward awakening. They validate the sense that ordinary life is lacking, and that seeking truth is our deepest drive. Ultimately, both agree freedom and peace come from seeing through illusion, whatever form it takes. In a world obsessed with material success, Plato and Mulat's ideas endure because they address our sense of confinement and longing for authenticity. Plato offers a path of reason and aspiration. Truth exists beyond us and we must strive for it. Mulat offers a path of introspection. Truth is within, and freedom is a shift in perspective. Both challenge us to examine the shadows and stories we accept as real. They remind us that the most important journey is exploring our own consciousness. These ancient and modern maps invite us to live more consciously, with wonder and purpose. In questioning reality, we find the possibility of true freedom and peace.